Oh, okay. Well. Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh. Okay. So no, I'm not pooping, and I've been here the whole time. I didn't know the audio wasn't working. Okay, but now it is, right? Thumbs up. We're good. You can hear me. Everything's good. Okay. All right. There's a picture of Dolly Parton on the screen. No, there's not. Don't fuck with me for Christ's sake. I'm having enough trouble. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go back to here. I think if I go here and do this. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that picture's way off, so I got to fix this. I don't know what happened here. Guess I was resizing the wrong picture. I think I'm still too big. Bring that down a little bit. Oh, well, let's go a little more. All right. Okay. All right. So here I am. Here's the trophy, which lights up. It's I got this little controller here, and I can change the color. How about green, or yellow, or white, or red, or let's see what else we got here. Or I can make it fade in and out. I don't remember how I did that. There we go. Now it's going to change colors automatically. So it'll just run through the colors. So yeah, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was my first win with the new car. First show with the new car. So first show, first win. Pretty happy about that. Got the rotary pick. Not a big show, about 50 cars there. They only had 6 categories. I didn't win in my category because there were 15 muscle cars there, and when you're competing against a 67 GTO and a 67 Camaro, and nobody is gonna pick your later model '09 Pontiac G8 because most people don't even know what it is. But there were some guys there that were really excited to see it. I did have a few people come over, and they were like amazed. They had either never saw one before in their life, but they knew what the car was, or they hadn't seen one in a while, so they were excited. So, but yeah, I got rotary pick, so that instead of competing against the 15 or however many cars were in my category, I was competing with everybody there, for this award, and I won that. So pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. Got the shirt. That was a participation shirt. Got some fuzzy dice for the mirror that were really cool. They gave me these, and then and they had some. They had a 50-50. I didn't get involved in that. I usually don't do the 50-50. Thank you, Philip. Eric, thank you. Yeah. Bill is Wild Bill here. Wild Bill, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. So yeah, we got 7 in here now. It's I don't know why. I don't know what happened to everybody at the beginning of the show. There's nobody here. But I did. So then they had these baskets they put together, and they were like Easter egg or Easter baskets, but not. I think one of them was an Easter basket. But they were full of random stuff. One was full of. There was $250 worth of gift cards for every restaurant. Longhorns and Outback, and all these gift cards, and there were a lot of people in that. Putting their tickets in that one. And then there was one that had a lot of Pilates and health exercise, and and then there was one with wine in it, and some other stuff, soaps and wine, and so they had all a variety of different ones, and there was probably about 15 different baskets there that you could put your tickets in. You had to buy tickets, so for $20 I got 12 tickets. And so I decided that I wanted to increase my chances of winning something instead of nothing. And there was one basket that I would have liked over this one, but a lot of people had their tickets in that one, and not too many people had their tickets in this basket. So I put all my tickets in this one basket, all 12, and I won. So that was the plan, and it worked. And it's not really a basket. It's it's a bucket. So I won an O'Reilly's bucket. Okay, and it came with a lot of things in the bucket. And I'll put the bucket on the floor so I can show you what it came with. Here. So I got these gigantic microfiber towels. I guess there's 3 of them in here, but these things are like huge. Normally they're like 12 by 12. I think this is maybe 20 by 20. I don't know. It's pretty big. It folds out. It's twice this size, so it's a big fiber towel. There's 3 of them in here. So that's kind of cool. So I got those. And then I got, I don't know if you guys have ever used this Invisiglass. Excellent glass cleaner. Excellent TV screen cleaner. If you're going to wipe off your TV screen. Leaves no streaking. Very, very good product. Really, I've used this a lot. I like that product. And it came with some Armor All Extra Shield ceramic cleaning wipes. Woo! Ceramic cleaning wipes. Whoa-ho-ho! So I got that in here, and then this wash mitt. It's one of those super soft fiber. It says here Pearl Chanel. Wow, whatever that is. So that came in the bucket, and then. A gallon of car wash, concentrated kind of car wash. So I don't know how many buckets, but this is probably a lifetime supply of car wash for me. If this is concentrated, and I only have to use like a shot glass full of this to wash my car, I can wash all of my cars every day of the week for the next 10 years. So that's everything. So for a $20 investment, they say that this is $55 worth of product from O'Reilly's. So including the bucket, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. including the bucket, for a $20 investment. I figured, let's just, let's not try to go big and go home with nothing. Let's take a better crack at it. There weren't a lot of tickets in that box. I put all 12 of mine in there, and that increased my odds tremendously, and I won. So that was cool. So I won that at the show. And then the grab bag had a bunch of cool stuff in it. This, where'd my little yellow duck go? I got the shirt. You got a goodie bag for entering the show. I got this shirt. I got a little rubber duck. A few Jeep guys know what the little duck thing is. I'm not real clear on it, but it's just a thing that the Jeep people do to each other. If they see a Jeep, they put a duck on it. And you're supposed to line them up on your dashboard so that they know you're part of the clan. And I don't know, it's funny, it's cute. But so I got a little duck, and I got a bunch of pens, and I got a koozie, I got a magnetic bag clip, I got bunch of stuff in there. There was some kind of a card holder type thing, kind of like this base here that this trophy is sitting in, the latex, or the whatever it is. I don't know what you would stand up in it, but anyway, it was that was in the goodie bag, a backpack, for carrying books, and then another bag. The bag itself was a drawstring satchel bag, and of course the shirt was in there, and so yeah, a lot of good stuff in the bag. That was cool, and so good day. I had a good time at the show. Saw some interesting cars, and then won this very cool trophy. So I'm pretty excited about that. It has a lot of different options. I can make it fade in and out. I don't know how all the options work. Let me play with it here and see what we can make it do. I think this is the fade in and out version. So now it's going to fade from color to color, but it's going to fade in and out to do it instead of a flip. And then there's all the different colors it'll do. Let me see here. 16 different preset colors. And then I think this might be a brightness control here. Although that probably doesn't work in the fade in and out thing. And then I bought online a Hot Wheel of my car. You got a good cool car when Hot Wheels makes one of it. So you got a cool car. So I picked that up. This was the color I really wanted. This they call this ignition orange. And if I could have gotten this G8 in another color than the blue, which I really like the blue. I'm not upset with the blue at all. I love the blue, but this was the color I really wanted, was the ignition orange. And I had a chance to get one of those, and I blew it, But so that was so I got that, and let's see what else. Of course, in the picture you saw here, I have my 3D printed G8 on top of the air cleaner. That's not where the air cleaner is, but in the middle of the motor, I put my 3D printed G8 up there next to the trophy, and I know you like orange. Yeah, I do too. Especially that one. It's a pearlescent, metallic pearlescent orange that they call ignition orange, and the G8 is absolutely gorgeous in that color. I really, really love that car in that color. I like the red. I like the white. I like the blue I got, and I like the orange. There's other. I don't like the car in black. I don't like the car in the dark gray. There's a medium gray, which is okay. Not crazy about it. If I got a really good deal on one, I could live with it. I passed on a really good deal on one of these cars because it was black, and I just did not want a black car. There was 3 things wrong with the car. That it was a really nice car. It had a rebuilt title, okay, but the guy showed me a picture of the damage, and there was no structural damage. No frame damage. The truck went under, or the car went under a truck, like a semi truck. So it hit the top of the hood and just ripped all the plastic, all that plastic stuff under the hood, with the air box and the cover, probably the intake manifold. It just broke plastic stuff, and of course it ruined the hood, the fender, bumper cover, grills, but no structural damage. And the guy rebuilt it, and he did a perfect job. He repainted the whole car black. Didn't want a black car, but I could have lived with that total loss if it was. But it was a black car with black wheels. I hate black wheels, so that was strike two. And it had a black wing on the back that was not a G8 wing. It looked like some ricer kind of wing, and that was and I just didn't want to pay. He made me a deal on the car. I think he told me he'd give it to me for $10,500. I think was his. He was asking over 12 for it. He said he'd take 12 or 10.5, and I almost bought it. And if it hadn't been for the black wheels and that stupid black wing that was on it, I would have bought it. But I passed on it, and I'm glad I did, because I ended up with this blue one. I'm very happy with this car. So far, it's been pretty good. No major problems. Fixed a couple of issues it had. It had an ABS sensor bad. I fixed that. It had there were three lights on the dash: the stability, the traction control, and the ABS, and all three of those are tied to one sensor. So as soon as I fixed that sensor, all three of those lights went away. So then I had to check engine light, and it was reading no oil pressure. I knew the motor had oil pressure, it was running fine, and it was quiet, so if it wasn't rattling. So I bought the oil pressure sensor thing, and I was going to put it in, and I said, hey, let me reset the light first and see. And so I reset it, and it went away. So that turned that light off. So that all the lights are off the dash, and I drove it around a week like that with no lights on. And then the tire monitoring, I had a tire sensor that failed, so now I got the tire monitoring sensor light on. I can live with that. I don't care about that. I'm changing the wheels anyway. Don't like these wheels. I'm going to put the factory wheels back on it. He gave me the factory wheels when I bought the car, so I bought new tires for those wheels. So I'm going to put the new tires on maybe tomorrow. Put new, tire sensors in the wheels and put them back on the car. So that's probably what's going to happen tomorrow. And yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I don't know how that got messed off of there, but we're all right. We're back. So that was a pretty good day. It was raining at the beginning. That wasn't looking good, and I think it scared off. They probably had more entries, and probably would have gotten more day of show had the weather had been better in the morning. The show officially started at noon, and it was still raining at noon. Light rain, but you know how people are with cars. Like Michael Bird. I'm sure you don't take your car out in the rain. It stays nice and clean and tucked away in the garage. And I'm sure we lost a lot of contestants because of the rain, but it finally went away, and then the sun came out, and then it got really windy. And I had a canopy up. A lot of other people had canopies up, and then the wind started blowing the canopies away. So that got a little touchy there for a little bit. But we survived. So got home. Everything's good. I got all my neat stuff. My fuzzy dice and my shirt and my beautiful trophy that I'm very, very happy with. And so I just wanted to share that with you. That was the big news of the day. So let's talk about the computer not going doo-doo, doo-doo. Okay, so two things I had done to the computer, and I wasn't sure which one of them caused the problem, and I'm still not sure we're fixed. But I had removed Copilot from the computer, because it kept popping up, and I don't want Copilot, so I uninstalled Copilot. Now, I'm not sure if that was the problem or not. I'm beginning to think it was not. Yeah, not if you can help it. Yeah. Um, so, because I uninstalled it and it was still doing it. So then I thought, well, I had installed an antivirus, one of the free antivirus things, and this one's called Avast. I usually use AVG, but this time I thought I'd try Avast. And I think if I remember right, I've used Avast before, and I had the same problem then. It didn't play well with others. And so I uninstalled Avast just before I went live today, and that seemed to cure it. So now I might be able to uninstall Copilot, and we'll still be okay. But yeah, so that seems to be what was causing the doo-doo every 10 seconds doo-doo. So we got rid of that. So that's good. I mean, unless you guys are hearing it, because it's not beeping at my end, but that doesn't mean it's not beeping at your end. So, but if you guys are not hearing it, then that's good. So let's see what else. I printed something really cool and it didn't come out. I tried to print something really cool and it didn't come out. So I showed you last week all these cool signs that guy gave me at the car show, and in particular this one, the factory engineered parts. All right, and this is a metal sign. There's a file that I downloaded to print a. I could print a sign like this, and I could possibly print it this big. I'm going to try, but at first I wanted to see if I could just print it. So I was trying to use my Anycubic Cobra because that's my multicolor machine, and it's red. It was a Pontiac sign, so it's got the Pontiac head in the middle, okay, and then it says up here, I think it says factory service, and no parts across the head. The head's clear. It's got the wings off the head, and there are like 3 hashes on this each side. They're in red, and then there's 2 blue rings. Kind of like the Target emblem. Where it's red, white, red, bullseye, or red, white, bullseye. Red, white, red, white, bullseye. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, similar to that. Just 2 though. Blue. It was white. I think it was white, blue. Yeah, it was white, blue, and then the red Pontiac head. So I tried to print that, and didn't come out. It printed the first time I printed it. It printed it printed it the right size, full size and everything, but it just printed it all black. It didn't do the multicolors. And I'm like, okay. So I resliced it again, and I set it up again, and this time it was working, I thought. So it started, there's a black border it did first. So it's doing the border, and it's showing it's going to do the colors, and everything's looking good, and it finished the black and went to change colors, and then it stopped printing and said there was a problem. And I've had this problem before trying to print. Whenever I try to print a file that does not come from the Anycubic website, it's like from Creality or Bamboo or somebody else's website. When I download that file and then slice it in the Anycubic slicer, it slices fine. It looks good. Everything says it's fine, ready to print. And I load the G code, onto my little thumb drive and put it in the machine, and then it doesn't print. I've been trying to print this octopus forever. Same thing. It didn't come from the initial download did not come from the Anycubic website online. It came from somewhere else, and it won't print. It says it'll print. It looks like it's going to print. Everybody else's machine will print files from other places, but this one doesn't seem to. I did download a bunny rabbit off of the Anycubic site, and it printed. It did all the colors. It did 4 colors, and I even printed it in 2 different base colors. So I have 2 bunny rabbits. that and they're shadow boxes, so you can put lights inside of them. Now the bunny rabbits are about this big because they were just tests. I wanted to see if it worked, and it worked. So I know the machine will do multicolor. It just won't do it if it comes from another website other than Anycubic. And I haven't figured that out yet. You know, not going to lose any sleep over it. You know, we'll keep playing with it till you get it. But it prints so good. All three of these machines print unbelievably good. I mean, the layer lines are perfect. The I just used that thing as a tray because it was deep. And I just let me get everything. I put all the stuff off the desk here. Glue. I was fixing my armrest. I mean, I might show you that. In the G8, and so I had some glues and stuff that I was working with to fix it, and they were right here, and I cleaned them off, and I just set them inside that sign that was a fail, didn't print, and now I'm using it as a tray, and all the glues are in. So let me take everything out of it so I can show you the file. I just needed someplace flat to stand all these glue bottles up, and so I decided to use that. But now I want to show it to you. Okay, so here it is. So this is the face. All right. So this is, and that's as big as I could go on that machine. That machine, it will go a little bigger if you don't have a purge tower. You know, when you're doing a multicolor. You have waste that it pukes out, which is annoying that you have to spend, waste money on the waste so it can change colors. But then it clears the nozzle. The last thing it does after it changes colors, it clears the nozzle one last time before it starts printing again on what they call a purge tower. So when this is laying flat on the bed like this, there's a little purge tower sitting here, and the head goes over here first and makes a couple passes over here to make sure that all the pre-color is gone, and that the nozzle also doesn't have any Klingons or anything hanging on it before it goes right back to the actual part and starts printing. So to get the print tower on the bed, I had to make this smaller. So I thought I printed. No, that's. Yeah. So anyway, but this came out, the face that was face down, perfect. The layer lines on the side here, perfect. I mean, this is, I'll get it close to the camera here so you can see just how smooth that printed. I mean, it's beautiful. So, I mean, it just looks like a piece of molded, it doesn't look like it was printed. The layer lines are so smooth. There's a slight in the middle here. I don't know if you can see that, but where the heat element is, you see right in the middle there, there's that little section that looks kind of like little goopy like. And that's because that's exactly where this area is where the heating element is. So it's actually a little too hot in that one spot. And that's normal. It's going to do that. Now, I could have, what I would do is, turn the heat down a little bit on the bed. But you don't want to turn it down too far because then this might fall off the bed. So, but I could probably adjust that heat so that it doesn't do this. And but I wanted to make sure it would print first before I started making adjustments. And like I said, this was the fail because this should be a Pontiac head, and it all white and with blue, and all it did was print the black. So I don't know what happened there. So, but that was a fail. But that would have been the size of the sign, and I would have put lights in it, and it would have lit up, and So anyway, we'll work on that. That was just a fail attempt. Didn't work. Yeah, water bowl for the cat. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. It'll definitely hold water. There's no doubt there. It's. I mean, as far as a dinner plate or a water bowl, it's perfect. It did a great job. It's not like I can't use it for something. I mean, I literally can use this for a lot of things. submerging decals, water slide decals. This is the perfect tool for that. Plenty of room. You put your water in there, you put your water slide in there, and you let it, get, ready to come off, and then you pull it out and slide it on the airplane. So, yeah, this would absolutely work perfect for that. So, it's not a waste. I'll use it for something. It's a fail as a sign, but it's definitely usable. So we'll do something with it. I don't know what, but it's, So, Shadow. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to fall asleep tonight because I had a good sleep last night before the show today. So I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think I'm going to fall asleep, but hey, no guarantees. Yeah. I can tell you tonight, though, if I start getting drowsy, I'm just going to cut the show off. I'm going to say, all right, guys, I'm tired, got to go. I'm not going to sit here and keep nodding off. I know you guys enjoyed that, but we're not going to do that again. So, but right now I'm fine. I don't think we're going to be nodding off tonight. I think we're doing good. So, yeah, I was at a car show today, Shadow, and I won this beautiful sign here. This is a picture of the car close up at the show after I won the sign, the trophy, and then I'll show you here. This is the car at the show. So you can see the car next to me. There's cars behind me. There were only about 50 cars there. Weather was a little sketchy at the beginning, so I think that drove a lot of people away. I think a lot of people probably pre-registered like I did, and then decided they didn't want to pull their car out in the rain, and didn't come. So, yeah, my car's not going to melt. I don't care if it gets wet. I'm okay with that. So gave it a good wipe down. I did some work in the garage. So right now I have my Daytona on the lift. The G8 is under the lift. And the motorcycle is still in the garage also over on the side under the apartment. So we did a little finagling, and so now both my drivers that are licensed, insured, are in the garage, and the motorcycle's licensed, it's not insured, doesn't have to be, in the garage. So my 3 drivers are in the garage, out of the weather. So that's cool. Still don't have the lift where I want it. Because once I get the lift where I want it, I'll be able to get at least 1, maybe 2 more cars in the garage for a total. Because right now there's 3 cars in the garage and a motorcycle. And if I get the lift moved where I want it, I'll be able to put the 4th car where the lift's sitting now. And then if I clean the spot next to where the motorcycle is, I can put the 5th car under the drive-through, or the apartment. And so I can get 5 cars in the garage. And then there's still, when I get the airplanes moved into here, I'll be able to put at least 2, maybe 3 more cars over here. So that'll get me to 8. And then there's 1 more spot under the apartment available that is not available right now. It's storage. But when I get that cleaned out, that'll be another car. So that's 9. So we'll have, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put a car. Originally I thought I was going to put 1 or 2 cars up front in the corner, but I think that might become... See, the tire machines are there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to put the tire machines anywhere else. I was starting to think maybe I could get them underneath the overhang, but I don't know. So yeah, we might be limited to 9 cars in the garage instead of 11, just because of ergonomics. But anyway, we're working toward that. We're getting close, going that way now. So Eric, before you blow out of here tonight, I want to ask you a question. I saw a video of a guy flying a PBY painted like yours with lights on it. Was that yours flying? And were you flying it? In the snow? You have snow up there? So, just curious. Were you flying it? Was that you? Was that your plane? Were you flying it? Was somebody else flying it? And you were flying it in snow? Just want a confirmation if I was watching the right thing. No, not you. Okay. Well, but somebody painted it. Did you put the red and white stripes on the tail like he did? Did you see that video? Because he painted it the light blue just like yours. It looked just like the way you painted yours. And but it had the red and white stripes on the tail. Yeah, the wind's crazy. Yeah, it was windy as crap today here. After the rain stopped, it got really windy. Oh my God. The canopy almost blew away a couple of times. Thank God that my buddy Bob was there when he brought canopies for. He brought these heavy weights that you wrap around the legs of the canopy, and he was going to use them on his canopy, but my canopy's 14 by 14. He says, hell, I'm not even going to bother putting mine up. I'm just going to hang out under yours. I said, oh, that's a good idea. So we used his weights to hold my canopy down, and he didn't put his up. No, your tail's just blue. It's just the rudder. The only part of the tail, the vertical fin is the regular light blue like yours. But the rudder has white and red stripes on it, horizontal stripes, which is common for that airplane. I have a plane here that has that same color scheme on it. I can't remember if it's my Avenger that has that. I think my Avenger has that color scheme on it. So it's same thing. It's the fins the light blue, and then the rudder's red and white. Horizontal lines. 15 degrees there. Philip, you got to get out of Canada. Oh my God. I can't believe you can live up there. Yeah, we were in the 80s again today, I'm sure. Eventually. It started off probably in the mid 60s when it was raining. And it was a little I don't want to say it was chilly. Just a little cooler. It was comfortable. I mean, it was in a t-shirt. I was comfortable. But by the time the rain stopped around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it started warming up, and I'm sure it hit 80, but the breeze, because it was a very strong breeze, kept it very comfortable. We weren't sweating or anything because there was heavy winds. So yeah, it was a good day. I need a job sponsor so I can move down there. Yeah? What kind of job you looking for? Would you honestly you would move here really if you had a job down here? We're gonna find you a job down here. Yes. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, so you just got here. I'll fill you in. Yep, Blue Commodore at a car show today. And ta-da! Look what I won today. Rotary Pickup Show. Not Best in Show, but next best thing to Best in Show. They had Best in Show, which went to like I don't know, it was like 67 GTO or something, I forget. And then I got Rotary Pick of the Show. So I didn't win my class, which was Best Muscle Car, because there was at least 15 in my class, and it's hard to compete with a you know, a 67 GTO and a 67 Camaro, and oh, I think it was a Roadrunner. It was like a 60s Roadrunner. I think won Best of Show. Um, so yeah, I didn't. Those were all in the muscle car class that I was competing in. So I didn't win the class, but I won the overall. So the difference there is in the class I was only competing against 15 to 20 cars. For the rotary pick, I was competing with every car there. So out of every car there, the congregation of the Rotary Club voters picked my car for Rotary Pick of Show. So I was pretty stoked about that. I thought that was I was very excited. I got to tell you, I'd already walked away after my class and my buddy Bob's class, because he was in import and I was in muscle car. Both our classes we didn't win, so I had to go sit down. My back started hurt. So it was just, there was only like 2 more awards. So I went and sat down, and I'm sitting there, and then I didn't hear them announce Best of Show or anything, or mine, until I thought I heard my name, and so I got up and I peeked underneath my canopy that I'm sitting under, and there's a woman out there standing there with 2 trophies, and I'm like, so I started walking up, and she turned around and handed the Best of Show trophy to the guy that got there before me, and then she starts walking right toward me, and I'm like, I said, "Was this for car 15?" And she says, "Yeah, you got rotary." Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my. And I got this really cool sign that changes colors. And hang on a minute, let me get. You haven't seen that yet, so here's the sign right here on the table, and it has a remote, and I can change colors, solid, whatever, leave it. But right now it's in auto fade, and it's going through the whole palette. There's 16 colors here, and it's going through all the colors automatically, and it's doing a fade out, and you can have it just do a quick snap fade out. You can change the speed. I can make it solid, just stay one color. It's a base with a piece of Lexan, standing up in the base. There's lights in the bottom of the stand that illuminate, the Lexan, and then of course it's I want to say they probably use a sandblasting tip to fog out. I don't believe those are stick-on letters. I'm pretty sure that this is etched. I think they etched all the wording on it because that's what makes it illuminate the letters. If they were stick-ons, they wouldn't illuminate the letters like it does. So yeah. So yeah, I'm really super happy with the trophy. I was just amazed I won that. That was so cool. Yeah. So anyway, super happy. I love my little trophy I won today. I think that's what yeah, I'll probably end up putting it on the shelf back there. I think it'll fit. Yep, it will fit. So yeah, it'll have a permanent home behind me, and lighting like this. I'll have it just sit back there changing colors, and I'll probably I'm thinking about, if I did the Pontiac sign that's going to light up, I'm going to put it over there, and that hole over there that you can't see right now because all of this filament's blocking. But it looks like this hole where the trophies are. That what do they call that? Butterscotch, I think, is the color. Wall is the same thing's over here, blank. There's nothing on the wall over here. So my Captain America shield is going to hang there, and then this sign is going to hang there, and maybe maybe one or two of these signs will hang there. This is blue, by the way. It looks black, but it's a very dark blue. And this is kind of what the sign I was printing, you know, on my dog dish was going to have, you know, these three, you know, white, red, and blue. Red, white, and blue. A lighter blue, much prettier blue. And it's a light box, so it was going to be backlit, similar to my trophy, with that red, you know, Pontiac head in the middle, and it's going to say factory service on it in blue, and then the white. Most of it's white, but it didn't print right, so we'll try that again. So this made a beautiful dish, but this is a fail. That was supposed to be a Pontiac sign. So, oh well, we'll try again. All right, so I probably missed it. Let me scroll up real quick and see if so Philip, what kind of work are you looking for down here? And do you want to go to Florida or do you want to go somewhere else? You know, where do you want to move to, and what kind of job are you looking for? Well, you know, Shadow, I don't always miss everything in the chat, but I understand. But what you don't understand is that when you're talking and trying to tell your story, whatever I'm talking about, you can't tell a story and read at the same time. At least I can't. Maybe you're multitasking and you can literally read all the chat while you're telling a story. I can't. Okay. So when I'm talking about how I won the trophy or printing this or whatever, you're right. I do miss. Freedom is the top of my. Yeah, well, that's America pretty much. Isn't Shadow? I think you know this one. Is it New Hampshire? You know, is you know, the live free or die state? Isn't that their motto? Those would be my pick, Michael. That's why I picked Florida. I almost moved to Texas. When Allstate decided to close our branch, or not close the branch, but downsize it a lot. There were openings in Texas. I could have. We didn't just get them. All we could do is apply, you know, for a shift change to Texas if we wanted to relocate. And one of the girls did. She applied and got it. And I'm too invested in this damn property I have here to just get up and move. You know, it would be a big, you know, when you think about the logistics of moving 20 cars, 3 motorcycles, a truck, 5 trailers, and 200 airplanes. You know, forget furniture and the rest of the shit, but just because those are the things I can't replace. You know, I could leave all the furniture and everything behind and just buy new when I get there, but all the airplanes, the cars, the motorcycles, the truck, the trailers, no. So moving all that stuff from Florida to Texas would be a logistics nightmare for sure. Anyway. Well, there you go. Can't he transfer you down to the Ocala farm? That's not too far from me. I mean, that's only about an hour. You know, that's close. You know, and I can definitely go up there because there's a flying field I fly at up there. So I've been up there. because I've got friends that live up there. I go up there to fly with them. So, yeah, that really will work, Phil. If you come to Ocala, we can make that work for sure. That's where I bought my car. I went to Ocala to get the blue Pontiac. So, yeah. So that's not that far away. It takes me almost as long to go. Maybe 10 minutes longer to go to Ocala to fly than it does to go to the current field I fly at. It's in the opposite direction. I mean, going towards Tampa right now to go flying, and it's a good 40, 50-minute drive. And Ocala is like, an hour 10. So not a logistics difference at all for me. I could care less. If you were here, I'd definitely be flying up there with you more than going to my current field. So, because I like the field up there. It actually has a paved runway, which is nice. Not used to flying off paved runways, but I have. But it's about the same distance to go to the Imperial Field, which is a paved runway, where I, um, won the longest flight trophy right there was from the Imperial Field. So yeah, about the same distance exactly to go to Imperial or go to Ocala. So yeah, so that if you can get transferred to the farm in Ocala, bring it, buddy. We'll be spending every weekend together, at least. you know. And you don't have to, you could think about this too, you don't have to actually live in Ocala. You could be like maybe 20, 30 minutes from Ocala south. And that would make you only like 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes from me. And then you could like come over the house and hang out in the garage mahal. And, be a lot closer for you to, there's a lot of pluses here. Think about it. So you don't have, you make sure you just move south of Ocala, so it's only a 20-minute drive to go to work every day, and unless you have to live on the farm, and then, but still, that's not a big deal. No, no, Wes lives north. He's up by Ocala. Yeah, Wes is a stone throw from Ocala. The Imperial Field Wes has been to for the same event I go to, the E-Jet event every year. So Wes does go down there and fly, but no, Wes he lives up in oh God, what's the township he lives in? It's I can't think of the name of it right now, but he's very close to Ocala. And that's where Rich Baker, the RC Informer, he bought property and put a field up there. And that's basically where Wes flies. Or he goes north to the Lark Field, which is the field I was talking about, which is right, that's Ocala. So, that's if I went flying up there, then yeah, you'd be flying with me and Wes and everybody else I know up that way. So yeah, yeah, because that's where Wes flies. If he's doing any kind of filming where he needs, a paved runway, better scenery, background, that's where he flies. Because his old field is, after he left it, it went to shit. But Rich Baker's field's 7 minutes from his house. So he'll be flying once Rich gets his runways in and all that. I'm sure Wes will be doing a lot of flying there too. Um, so no, no, I did talk to Rich lately. As a matter of fact, um, before I went to Indiana to see my brother at Christmas time, I was talking to Rich because he asked for volunteers to come help him lay his new runway, and I was all set to do that. And then he had to postpone it. So I postponed my trip to see my brother so I could still go. My plan was to go Saturday, and we were going to put the runways all down and do all the work Saturday. And then I was just going to get my truck and head north from there, since I'm already an hour, north. Um, I was just going to head out to my brother's from his house, from his flying site. And then he pushed it to Sunday, and I told him, I said, no, I'm sorry, I got to be on the road, Saturday night, so I can't work Sunday. So he was trying to get things worked out with the guys that were laying the sod or something. I forget what the holdup was, but yeah, so it didn't work out. I wasn't able to go help him. But yeah, so it's only been a couple of months since I've talked to Rich. So no, he's not mad. I didn't pee on his tire. He knows that. That was just a joke. Yeah. So yeah, there's nothing bad there. I went out there probably 6 months before that, and we sat in the field all day together while they were building his building. We were sitting there under my canopy and eating lunch and hanging out, and I told Rich, hey, I got a trailer full of airplanes with me. If you want to fly something, man, help yourself, whatever you want to fly. And he almost took me up on it, but he decided he didn't want to fly. He was too busy, straw bossing the guys putting up his building. So, but yeah, we had a great day hanging out, just talking about the building and, the plans and what he's going to do. And so, yeah. Yeah, I know, Shadow. You're the head crapper. Yeah, well, don't say that um, if Spencer's in the room, because he did Spencer wrong at a show, and Spencer hates him. So and I don't blame him. I mean, I don't know if I'd carry the grudge this long, but from what I understand, Spencer won a trophy for either a flight or the plane or something, and Rich was trying to win it for the company he was representing there. Um, and he went up there and made, I don't want to call it a protest, but he went up there and tried to finagle it so that it could be like Spencer would want it, but it was been with his plane or something. I mean, I'm wrong, but it was some convoluted thing that happened, and it really pissed Spencer off. And I don't blame him one bit. I'd be mad too. Would I stay mad? I try not to stay mad. You got to really wrong me pretty bad for me to stay mad. Um, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, Spencer and Rich Baker are definitely not friends. um, yeah, I've been around Rich a bunch at shows. Every time he's always at the E-Flight event, the E-Jet event, and so yeah, Rich and I have been at many uh, fly-ins together. Um, I think he's a pretty good guy. I don't but he was trying to do something for the company he was representing at that show, and they were sponsoring. I'm pretty sure they were sponsoring the show, and then he tried to pull some kind of a thing to get his sponsor involved in that win, and I don't know all the story of it. I don't know if it worked or not, or didn't work or whatever. I know Spencer still, from what I understand, still maintained the win. I could be wrong about that too, but yeah, the fact that he just tried to pull that maneuver is what pissed Spencer off, and I don't blame him one bit. I get it. Roy, what's up? How you doing, man? So, so I'm not faulting Spencer in any way. Don't misunderstand me. I totally understand why he'd be mad, and like I said, I would be too. Um, would I stay mad? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if I was in Spencer's shoes, and actually went through what he did, maybe. I can't say because I wasn't there. But um, yeah, you know, that's how I try to live my life, Roy. I try not to, you know, I mean, I dated a girl that went out of her way to make me miserable at her own expense. She was making herself miserable, trying to make me miserable. And she really wasn't making me miserable. She was just making herself miserable, trying to do it at my expense. She was mad at me, and it was like her goal was just to make me. And this, well, I'm not talking about Barbara. Barbzilla, is that what you guys called her, Barbzilla? No, that was a totally different thing. Yeah, I was, I really loved this girl, and but she just things didn't work out, and then she just tried to punish me. I didn't do anything wrong. We broke up, and she was mad that I broke up with her. Well, you know, things weren't working out. We've been dating for 4 years, and I thought we were getting. She kept leading me along that we were going to get married. We're going to get married. We're going to get married. And then finally she says, "I'm never going to marry you," because she's not going to let her ex-husband off the hook. Meaning, she's not going to let him not have to pay her alimony, which is like $350 a month alimony. And she wasn't going to. I wasn't worth giving up $350 a month. And all she was doing it for. She didn't need the money. She just wanted to make Michael miserable. So she's going to, make him keep paying her for the rest of his life. So she led me along all this time that she was going to marry me, and then she said no, and so I moved on. You know, and so that was that. That's what that was about. But yeah, that. So I know people like that. That will at any expense to them, even their own well-being, will do whatever they can to make somebody else miserable. So. What are you deleting the EGR on, Roy? On your new truck? Are you working on? What are you doing here? uh, the Cummings 6.7. Yeah. Don't know anything about a Cummings, diesel motor. Never owned one. Don't plan on ever owning one. I don't need. I don't need that kind of pulling power for anything I'm doing. So yeah, not my wheelhouse. Not coming to Can of Performance anytime soon. Um, so does that affect your def at all? Do you still have to put, if you get rid of the EGR, do you still have to put the def fluid in it, or is they get rid of that too at the same time? That'd be a plus. I'd probably do it for sure if it did that. Oh, so you are getting rid of the deaf thing all. Well, that then I can totally understand it. But you don't use your truck for work, do you? You don't have to pull, you know, your rig and stuff to go to work, right? You're not using your own truck. There's a big semi truck you use for that. Right. Exactly, Phil. That's a perfect example. Breaking your hand punching a wall in frustration only hurts you. So, same thing. Her name was Lynn, and she was only hurting herself. She wasn't hurting me by, you know, what she's doing. And I'm sure Michael could, I'm sure he's got that $350 coming out of his account automatically. He ain't sitting there writing no damn check every week. It just, direct deposit and it. So if she thinks that it's really pissing him off, I doubt it. He's moved on. $350 for the kind of money he makes. He ain't worried about it. So, right, but you could drive a Miata to work every day. You don't need the truck to go to work. I mean, you could drive anything. You need a vehicle to get to work. I understand, but it doesn't have to be a Cummins diesel, truck, right? You don't use your truck to pull, you know, any equipment to get to work. That's all provided, right? So as long as you have something to drive to work. Oh, you use your truck at work. Oh, do you really? Wow. Do they pay you for that? Do you get, spiff money for using your own vehicle at work? Boy, they better be paying you damn good for if you're using your own vehicle for work. So they pay you an additional $500 a month for a truck allowance. I guess that works out for you. I guess you're okay with that. So, so I guess that's okay. I didn't realize you had to use your own truck for that. So, but okay. I mean, I did the same thing when I worked at Allstate. I was using my vehicle um, right up to the when I got laid off. For 5 years, they were paying me a vehicle expense every month to use my own vehicle to go out and write estimates. So I didn't have a problem with that. It worked fine for me. I was making good money on that. Because they were paying me generously. For gas and oil, tire expense. To use my own car. Um, so yeah, I felt the same way. I thought it was a benefit. It made it easy too, because a lot of times when I got off work, I was close to a car show, and I was driving that the silver. Uh, it was a Dodge. It was an '07 Dodge Charger that was silver that I decaled all up to look like a Daytona. It didn't say Daytona on it. It just said Charger SE on it, but it was all the exact same decals. It didn't say Hemi on the hood. It said Charger on the hood. The black block letters, exactly like the Hemi, but it said Charger, and the side strips were in the same font as Daytona, but just said Charger SE. Put the black wing on it. Put the black out on the back of the trunk lid. I did it exactly the way a Daytona looked, but I didn't badge it as a Daytona. It was a 6-cylinder, so it wasn't even an RT. But that sure made the car look good, and I got a lot of comments at car shows about it. One guy was making a joke about the SE. He says, "So what's the SE stand for?" and nobody had ever asked me that before, and I hadn't really thought about it. And I just came up with, I don't know, the snail edition. And he started laughing because it wasn't, the 6-cylinder was not that fast. So it wasn't the 3.56; it was the 2.7 6 cylinders. The little six, not the 3.56. So I came up with Snail Edition right on the fly, and he liked that. He thought that was funny. So yeah, if they probably meant Special Edition, but and then of course his next question well, what's special about it? I don't know. I didn't badge it that. They did. I don't know what SE stands for. I mean, or what's special about it. So you were having uh somebody with. All right, I'm just clarify here for a minute, Eric. Were you having problems with the army, like calling you out on something, or somebody calling you out on what you did for the army? Just trying to clarify here. It paid for your three times over for. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Okay, so are you guys? How many of you guys are NASCAR fans? I used to be. I kind of a little bit. Um, Probably only because Dale Jr. started doing a YouTube show a couple years ago, and that I think that got me back into it a little bit. I'm not a full blown fan anymore, but I used to be. So there's a big uproar about Cletus going to work for Richard Childress Racing. I guess he signed a contract with Richard to drive a car, or I think a car, for him. Anybody got any feelings on that? Wow. So was it somebody in the chat that said that to you, or was it like on Facebook, or was it in Dave's show that came up? Yeah, me too, Phil. The '70s. Uh, I started in the '60s, and then through the '70s, I was a huge NASCAR fan, and then mid '80s. I can tell you exactly what race. I was at the race, the 1988 Daytona 500. I was literally in the seats at that race, and that's where I think NASCAR fell apart. That season, because the Daytona 500 is the first race of the season, and that was the year that they let front wheel drive cars race in the Daytona 500. And so we are nowhere even close to stock cars anymore. Okay, so that for me was that was just shoving it up my ass, kind of thing. I was very upset about that. Uh, Oh, okay. So, but it was happening in Dave's show that somebody, boy, I don't know what, I don't understand people. You know, when you go do anything in the service, I don't care what you're doing. All right, you are doing a service that needs to be done. Somebody has to do it, and you're not home. You don't go home every night to your warm bed and your wife. You're somewhere wherever they've got you deployed doing a job. I don't care what the job is. I don't care if you're cleaning the toilets. You know, you are a vet. You're servicing a need to protect this country. So I don't care what the job is. You are absolutely entitled. So that's my feeling on that. I don't care what you're doing. Uh, that's just I think a friend of mine. Yeah, see there and there you go. You were deployed 3 days after so you didn't get to see your. How long were you out? So you missed the first part of your daughter's life. How do you I mean, how can you tell somebody that they weren't servicing your country when you're not home with your family? I mean, yeah, a year, yeah, yeah. So like I said, yeah, there's absolutely no excuse for that. I don't care what you do. Um, if you're in the service servicing, a need in our wars or whatever, you're entitled. So my feeling on the Cletus thing. Listen, Cletus is a great man. I've met him. He's got a heart of gold. I I did this. I stopped watching his channel because it got just too ridiculous for me. Um, he ran out of things to do, so now he's just doing stupid stuff. And I'm not a stupid guy. I don't like stupid stuff. So I stopped watching the show. I unsubscribed, but he's got a heart of gold. He'd give you the shirt off his back. He just wants to help people, and he has no problem giving money away to help others. And but besides that, Richard Childress is one of the most prominent owners in NASCAR. And for anybody to question his decision to hire Cletus as a driver, there ain't nobody out there qualified to question Richard Childress's decision. Period. I don't care who you are. All right? Richard Childress is one of the founders of this sport and had the greatest driver driving for him that the sport knew. Next to Richard Petty, there are, but one of the, I'm not going to say the, but one of the best. Okay, so nobody has any right to question what Richard Childress decides to do with his money. All right, this guy, was one of the founders of this sport. So if he wants to hire Cletus, I don't know how anybody can question that. Like Kyle Busch, for instance, he has no right to question what Richard Childress is doing with his money and his team. So that's my feeling on that. Is Cletus going to succeed? I don't know. I don't know what Cletus's Garrett. I don't know what his plans are. I mean, is he going to fold up the Freedom Factory and just do NASCAR? Was that his goal? Yeah, I don't know. We've never talked to that depth. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's with that, was that his plan all along to get into NASCAR? He was hoping that the Freedom Factory would just be an avenue to get him to NASCAR. I don't know. I don't know what that was. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, when I see like Kyle Busch, ridiculing, that Cletus, shouldn't be driving for him is the stupidest thing. He has no right, to even voice that opinion. He's not qualified. So yeah, I agree, Philip. I think Cletus has a lot of talent. Yeah, he's definitely got talent. Um, so Was he going to come out of the gate winning every race? No, probably not. Of course not. And I'm sure Richard. Listen, I don't know if you guys, only the real NASCAR fans would understand that even Dale Earnhardt, when he came to work for Richard Childress, was not winning races. And Richard told Dale, listen, I can't give you what you need. You're a better driver than what I can provide for you. You need to go work for somebody else. You need to go drive for somebody else. And Dale told him, no, we started this together. We're going to end this together. So Dale stayed with Richard even when Richard was struggling to provide Dale with what he needed to win. And so that says a lot about Dale's integrity and Richard's drive, and dedication to getting it done. And of course, Dale won 7 championships. And and so I don't see how anybody can even question a decision that Richard Childress made. Off the table. I just don't see how anybody's qualified to make any kind of comment like that. Richard can do what he wants with his money, and I don't think anybody has any kind of to question his decision. Period. I don't think anybody has that. I don't know the word. The word I'm not looking for. But anyway, you get it. So, Matt, what's up? How you doing, man? Well, he wasn't approved to drive in Daytona. I mean, they wouldn't let him drive in the Daytona race. He tried to get in that, and they said no. You need more experience. Even the truck race, they wouldn't let him. The only thing they let him drive was the ARCA race. Yeah, at Daytona, they flat out said no. You're not driving. You don't have the experience. We're not putting you out there. You're not doing it. And so they didn't approve him at the beginning, other than an ARCA spot. So yeah, I don't know what he's. I'm sure he's going to have the yellow rookie stripes on the back of his car if he drives. I haven't, again, I'm not following NASCAR that much anymore. So, has he already started racing with Richard? Is he racing in races in the Cup, or is he in the Infinity or whatever they call it this year? I don't think it's Infinity this year or whatever. The lower class, or is he driving trucks? What's he doing for Richard? I don't know. I'm not following it that close. He drove a truck at Daytona. I didn't see that. I watched the Daytona race. I didn't see Cletus in a truck at Daytona. Yeah, I knew he signed a contract. That part I knew. All right, I'm gonna click on these, Mike, and open them, but I'll look at them later. Because Shadow's already calling me out. I'm not paying enough attention to the to the chat. So I'm not gonna. Okay, now you heard the ding, right? That's because
y'all start running around the yard.
I've got
wide ass open, and I'm thinking to myself.
Okay.
The liability alone I would have so much anxiety over somebody like rolling one of the things over. You don't even think of.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I haven't watched it. I know Cletus was on Junior's show. I haven't watched it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he on lap 6 he wrecked Yeah, I know he wrecked. Um, oh, you're right. Okay. Was he racing for Richard then? Though was that was Richard sponsoring that truck? Yeah, you're right. He crashed the truck on lap 6. Not his fault. He got taken out, but um, I don't think he was driving for Richard Childress then, though. Was he? I don't know who the truck belonged to, but I didn't think it was Richard Childress. I could be wrong. You know, like I say, I'm not following it that close. So he's got to run at Rockingham to be approved for Talladega in the truck. Are we talking the truck, Matt? Is that what he's approved to race in the truck, or is he in the Xfinity class? Uh, Sometimes Shadow. I don't think they did. They give any heat to Cletus over that crash because that wasn't his fault. I don't think he caused that crash. I didn't see any reports where anybody talked about, you know, he did it was his fault or anything. Okay, so he will be, racing for Richard in Rockingham. When's that race? What do you know what the schedule is? Do you know when that race is? Yeah, I'm trying to remember that wreck. Did he hit another truck? Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I know he wrecked it, and they immediately just took it behind the wall. They weren't going to fix it, but um, I can't remember. I can't remember if he hit anybody else or. All right, Shadow. Yeah, I'm glad you finally made it to the show. Why were you late tonight? What happened? You scared me. God. I mean, I went like 20 minutes before. I mean, Jeff and Laura Alabama came in, but nobody else was here. I'm like, what the hell happened? Did and then I didn't know Jeff couldn't hear me. So that's why he left because I'm talking to him and he's not, he's not answering me because he can't hear me. So, because my stupid computer changed over to the default audio again, and when it does that, you can't hear me, and then I have to go manually switch it back to the camera microphone. I don't know why it keeps switching it to default on its own, but it keeps doing that. AI, it's trying to help me. I don't need AI's help. Turn that shit off, but I can't. So he dug up the grass. Yeah, that's true. Juno, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to see you. April 4th is Rockingham. Is he doing any racing before Rockingham, or is he on a limited? I'm not following any of this, Matt. So fill me in. Is he on a full schedule, limited schedule? Is he only going to run at Rockingham, or is he going to run some other races, but the Rockingham ones that's going to qualify him for Talladega? You know, give me whatever you got, because I'm not following it. I don't know. Oh, you were at the store. Okay. Yeah, so I started the show, and you didn't show up. Mike Bird didn't show up. I'm like hitting the microphone. Hello, is this thing on? Hello? There's nobody here. And this went on for a while. Then Jeff and Laura Alabama showed up, and I'm talking to him, and he can't hear me. I didn't know the mic wasn't working because it had switched to default. And then Eric, he left, and then Eric showed up next, EQ, and I was talking to him, and he didn't know that I was talking to him because I didn't have me on the screen. I had a picture on the screen because I wanted to show off the trophy, from the car show. So he didn't know I couldn't, that I was talking to him because he can't see my lips moving. So it was a disaster, So Mike Bird wasn't here, and Shadow wasn't here, and and Jeff came and left because he didn't know I was talking to him, and then Eric came and didn't know I wasn't talking. Then finally I realized that a couple more people showed up, and I'm talking and I'm not getting any response. So I typed it, manually in the chat. Hey, can you guys hear me? And everybody said no. Like, oh, great! No wonder. It was a horrible start to the show. And I was on time. I mean, I was like, I don't know, maybe a minute late, but I mean, I was even on time tonight. And it was started off horrible. I thought I was on the wrong channel. I had to go check to make sure. Am I signed in on the right guy? What the hell is going on here? So you're not used to the clock change yet? Okay. Nobody was pressing buttons at all. Yeah, exactly. So what? It's I don't know if you have one of these in where you live, Roy, but it's a Rotary Club, So it's kind of like, I don't know, the VFW, it's a club. I don't honestly know what the Rotary Club stands for or what their base is. I have no idea. But they do a lot of, I don't want to call it volunteer work. I guess it's volunteer work, but they do a lot of shows and things to sponsor somebody, no, we're not talking about Mazda engines. No, it's got nothing to do with that. I don't know what the word Rotary in this context means. I have no idea. But they just, they're just a group that I think they're all volunteers, and they just, help others by doing a car show, and then the proceeds go to whatever fundraiser they're doing this for. And they get sponsors. So there was a lot of sponsor stuff in the bag from a lawyer and a couple of other businesses that, had provided, like the trophies, I'm sure were free from whoever, the trophy shop was. And the lawyers provided a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know who provided the shirts. So it says Rotary International. So I assume Rotary clubs are everywhere. Never looked into the. I mean, I've heard of it, and I never looked into the background of what's the Rotary Club stand for. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, it's just like I said, it's just another fundraising organization to help others. So I forget. I probably have some documentation here somewhere that says where all the money went from the show, who it was going to help. Well, there you go. So it's a global service organization to bring people together. There you go. So Michael? Do you know what the word Rotary refers to? Why did they call it Rotary? What is that referring to? Oi oi! Oh, you guys with the oi oi. um, yeah, I don't know. You know, I knew it's around. I've always heard of the club. I've never been to one of the shows before. It's the first show I ever went to with the Rotary Club. They I was at my free show on Tuesdays that I go to, where we just hang out. And a guy was passing out flyers, and he gave me a flyer for this show, and and they talked about the show and get the goodie bag, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, shit, I'll go to that. What the hell? So, um, so you have them in Australia? Yeah, I figure you probably, since it's international, yeah, they probably have them everywhere. So, I just don't know what the word Rotary implies. I don't know what it's. I know it's not a rotary engine. That's not what it is. I don't know what it is, but I know it ain't that. It's not like a Mazda club or anything, or So yeah, I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, cool trophy. Was really excited to win it. Yeah, just do a search locally for you. I'm sure there's one in local. Roy, just do a search. I'm sure you have a Rotary Club in your area. I'm pretty sure we had one up in Ohio. I never knew what it was up there either. Stay hydrated. Yeah, it's good advice. Yeah, nothing to do with cars. No, it's not a car organization. They just do car shows as a means to get revenue. Um, I think the 50/50 is the only money they keep for themselves, to keep the club going. But I think all the entry fees and any donations and the money I spent to win the O'Reilly bucket here, uh, I'm pretty sure all that money went to whoever they were, because it was all this stuff. Like O'Reilly's gave them this stuff. They didn't buy any of this. O'Reilly's gave it to them to give away. Everything they gave away, or raffled off, I should say, was donated. That's how people help out. They donate. The Pontiac, the G8. I I'll do this. So there's the close up of the car with the trophy, and then here's the car at the show. Um, my buddy Bob is parked next to me with his Lexus, and my tent's diagonal in the background on purpose because the wind was trying to blow it away. Yeah, it's a Commodore. Technically, it's a Commodore. It's a Commodore with Pontiac badging. But yeah, it was raining when the show started. Yeah, the G8. Yeah, the so I think it drove a lot of people away. I think there were more people that had pre-registered and decided not to go because they didn't want to get their car wet. And then I think anybody that was going to day of show up, because at noon when the show physically started, it was still raining. So I don't think I got there very early. As a matter of fact, they were still setting up when I got there. I was the first one to go up to register. I mean, I registered online, but to go up and get my card, I was the first one because they were completely unorganized. They didn't have anything out yet. They had to go get everything. Where are the bag things, and where are the goodie bags, and they had to go find everything. So I was the first one to walk up and say, "Hey, I'm here to register. registered online, and they looked me up, and then and then they had me fill out a card and just to put in my windshield. And anyway, yeah. So yeah, so it was about 50 cars there, but I think they were expecting more. They had goodie bags for 200 cars, so they were prepared for a big turnout, but it didn't happen. Well, it wasn't pick of the show. That's not best of show. Yeah, I think a 68 Roadrunner was best of show. Um, so um, yeah, this is the members of the Rotary Club, their choice, for them personally, not not for the, like, I was in muscle car class, which I had no chance of winning that. But that's the only place I could put the car. Um, so I knew I wasn't going to win, best muscle car. Um, but I didn't even know the Rotary pick of the show existed. I didn't even know that was a trophy until they called my name. So, but yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was a '68 Roadrunner that got best of show trophy. So it was a, yeah, it wasn't a real. They only had 6 classes. Okay, if you're going to have a real show, you got to have more than 6 classes. You can't define all the cars from the 30s to present day and get them all in 6 classes. I mean, there's plenty of shows that have to be 30 years old or older to be a show, and then there's new car shows. But if you've got a show that everybody's welcome, and you only have 6 classes, yeah, it's not going to be a good representation of you know the class. You can't define that many different cars in 6 classes. So um yeah. Anyway, um yeah, it's close to the color of that charger the girl that works with you got. It's a little darker than that. I've been trying to buy a charger that color. I almost bought one. We had same wheels and everything as the girl that works at your office. Um, he wanted too much for it. He wouldn't come down. If he'd have come down a little on it, I would have bought it. But he didn't come down on it, so I didn't get it. Um, yeah, it was. They're not. It's only their second show. Um, Not real organized. Nice people. Everybody's so nice. They're very pleasant. Everybody's smiling, and it was fun. I definitely enjoyed. But people were allowed to park anywhere they wanted, anywhere and any way. I mean, people were parking crooked on purpose, right in the middle of the aisle, not in the parking, designated parking areas. That it was kind of a cluster in that fact, that people were just put their vehicle anywhere they wanted, and facing any direction, anywhere. It's kind of weird. Never been to a car show like that before. Um, so listen to this. Did you hear that go by? Thanks, EQ. I'm very happy with the car. I didn't, I think I got a good deal on it. The price of these things are going skyrocket. Right after I got this car, coincidentally, the price of these cars just went up like gangbusters. Um, so they've become a very sought after. Uh, and I guess over in Australia, they're being stolen by the thousands. I mean, people are stealing these cars everywhere. Um, so yeah, so I'm very happy I got the car. I got it at a price I could afford. It was it's a good deal. It had some things wrong with it, nothing critical. I've already fixed everything that was wrong with it. The next thing is to put different wheels on it. The wheels that are on it are not they're Camaro wheels, and they're too big. They're too wide. So if the car compresses enough, the fender catches the tire and it's putting cuts on the sidewall of the tire in the tread area, right there on the corner. So yeah, I'm not pleased about that. So I'm going to get these wheels off the car and get different wheels on. I already bought tires to put on the stock wheels. He gave me the stock wheels with the car, so I'm probably going to put them back on. Um, or I may. There's another set of wheels I really like that are on the I think it's called the GXP. It's the step up. There's a G8, which is a 6-cylinder. There's a G8 GT, which is the V8 um, uh, LS3 motor, and then there's a GXP, which is a step up again, more powerful. It goes from a 6.0 to a 6.2 liter, Corvette motor, and it has better wheels on it. And I think there's a set of wheels on Marketplace right now from a GXP. I really like those wheels. I might buy that set and put them on the car. I haven't decided. The tires are the same size that the Daytona uses, so the tires will go either on my Daytona or on the Pontiac. No problem there. The exact same tires, so no problem there. So if I decide to change, because the other wheels I think are 20s, the ones that came on the GXP. Your hangar is your new man cave. Have you done anything cool to it? Are you putting a bar in it or anything, Michael? What are you doing to your hangar? You fixing it up to be a man cave? Got a big screen TV in there yet, or anything like that? Oh, is that right, Michael? The sedans are selling cheap over there, huh? Pick one up. It's going to go up in value according to what they're saying. Wigs. What? What's the da 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 da? Oh, what the hell that was? Obviously, I missed something earlier in the toast. You know. Oh, it has a tiki bar. Oh, no shit. I was going to put a gazebo in here. I still might. Kind of a tiki bar, but a modern tiki bar. But yeah, I was going to put a gazebo in here. I thought it'd be cool to have an area in the shop area here. You know, to put a, you know, in the downstairs out in the shop area, not upstairs in the living area. To have a, you know, couch, chairs under a gazebo inside the building. I thought that would be cool. So that might still happen. We'll see. Got my eye on one, so we'll see. Got way more. I got a lot of things to do before that's going to happen. that's not near in the near future, but that could happen. So. What kind of mini bike are we talking about here, Mike? I mean, when you say you put a Harbor Freight motor on it, was it like a Briggs single piston 2.5 horse motor? You know, old lawnmower motor? Is that what you put on it? That was the standard mini bike motor back in the day. Yeah, yeah. Wear a helmet. That was your interpretation of EQ's music. He usually plays Star Trek music in the background or Hogan's Heroes. It's either Star Trek music or Hogan's Heroes are his main deal. You know. See, I pay attention, Eric. Yeah, you're right. EGR systems do suck, Roy. Yeah, he sent me a text. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked at the motor in the Pontiac um, to see if it has an EGR type system on it. Um, the LT1 in my Impala does not have an EGR system on it, so I think they finally did away with that bullshit. I hadn't really been paying attention to that until you said that. Um, yeah, yeah. The LT1 doesn't have an EGR on it. I'm assuming the LS doesn't either. I don't know for certain. This motor's very new to me. I'm still learning this motor. So. Oh yeah, Eric. What kind of hangar are you going to build? How big? What are you going to make it out of? I got some advice for you. So let's talk. Give me some details. How big, and what are you going to make it out of? Because I did it wrong. I can tell you that. If I was going to do it over again, I wouldn't have done what I did. Um, so I could have saved a lot of money. Drives like shit, fast as hell. That's the kind of mini bike you want. You want one that drives like shit, but it's fast as hell. So, you're going to lose control of it and crash at a high rate of speed. That's perfect. Sign me up for that one. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that, Mike. That's funny. Yeah, everybody wants to ride it. Yeah, you used to play at a bar every week, and you called yourselves the Hogan's Heroes, huh? Did you guys play that theme music ever? You know, as just as a play on words, since you guys were calling yourself that. Did you ever play their theme music? 16 by 28 portable. How is it portable? What does that mean? It's not on wheels, right? What the hell does that mean? Portable. Right across the street from a strip club, huh? All right, so the first thing I'm going to tell you, Eric, is don't go 16. Go to at least 20. You want 20. Believe me, you're going to want that extra room. 16, two cars side by side in a 16-foot area is too damn close. Okay, you know you're going to be banging doors, opening a car door from one to the other. You know you're going to try to carry something up between the two cars, and you're going to scratch a car. Just go 20 by 28. Trust me, you'll thank me later. It's not going to cost that much more, and that extra 4 feet will make a huge difference. So yeah, go at least 20 by 28. Um, what are you going to build it out of? What kind of material? Aluminum, red iron, steel. What kind of construction material are we using? Wood. You know, I still don't understand what the portable is. I can't wait to hear what that is. I don't know how it's portable. Um, oh, that's one thing in Florida you have no shortage of. There's strip clubs on every corner down here. They're more there's more strip clubs down here than there are Walgreens. Okay, honest to God, I'm not. That's not a joke. There are strip clubs everywhere down here. Oh my God. So the price of permitting here wasn't the problem, but getting the permit was the problem. They held me up for a year and a half over something that was not even an issue. And oh, so it's just going to be planes and trains. Okay, all right. So what are your rules? Because you're right about the property tax, but how is this considered portable? Um, is it not going to be bolted to the ground? It's just going to sit on the ground? Is that how they're building this? Like a carport? Yeah, if you're not going to put cars in it, then your size is fine. I thought you were building something to put cars in. Um, oh, it's going to be wood. Okay, so it's going to be wood, and I guess it's not going to sit. Is it going to sit on a concrete pad or on the grass? And for you guys that aren't thinking outside the box here, you put a geotech, you know, floor in it. It's not grass, okay, or something similar. You can put a floor down, so even though it's not sitting on concrete, it's not sitting on grass. I mean, it is, but the grass is under whatever the hell you're actually putting down as the floor. You can even do pavers. That's illegal here too. If I had built this on instead of a concrete floor, if I had put it on pavers, it would be considered portable. I wouldn't have had to pay property tax on it. No, no, Mike, it'd be the other way around. They should put Walgreens inside strip clubs. It's because the strip clubs are bigger and more of. And then while you could go get your medication, your prescriptions filled while you're watching the stripper. So that would be way better use of the land for sure. It's going to be on blocks. What are you going to use for a floor? Yeah, Philip, I used to work for a vending company back in the day. Yep, I know what you're saying there. I used to fix jukeboxes, all the Pac-Man jukeboxes, pinball, all that stuff. And my company also did cigarettes and candy machines, that kind of stuff. I wasn't involved in that part of it. We had the food one machines guys, and we had the gaming, but all from the same company. So yeah, did that for years. Loved that job. Yeah, that was one of my favorite jobs. Um, but yeah, strip clubs we had a lot of machines in strip clubs, so I was frequenting those um, regularly, not by choice. I'm not a strip club kind of guy. It's not my thing. Where are you going to move to with your building, Eric? Are you moving out of state? Have you got a future plan in mind here? What do what are you thinking? You coming to Florida? I got plenty of room for that building right here, man. No problem. If that's your plan, Eric, honestly, if you're really planning on moving it, um, I don't think I'd make it out of wood. Moving a wood structure any distance, probably not probably not going to move well. It can be done. I mean, I know houses and shit, but houses have inner walls and trusses, and you're talking about a big empty building that just has walls. You got to remember that. Um, Not near as stable as a house to move out of wood. So, you know, Why don't you just get a 20 by 20 carport, self-standing carport, and enclose that? Wouldn't that be cheaper and easier? I've got one of those right here. And that the guy enclosed it, turned it into a barn. He had stalls in it and everything, and barn doors on it, the whole 9 yards. And I tore it down, the interior, so I could put cars in it. So now it's just a carport. It's got walls on 3 sides. The back side of it's open, and I can there's 2 cars. Well, actually, there's only 1 car in it now. There used to be 2 cars in it. Now there's only 1 in it. But oh, good idea. Okay, that sounds cool. Um, yeah, the AstroTurf would be great for if you're going to run the train on the ground. You're going to get you already have G scale stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, great idea, man. I like it. That sounds cool. Um, Not sure I'd build it out of wood though. I think aluminum. You know, because when they do a carport, for instance, it's all pre-bent, in jigs and mandrels, and it's already set to a size and shape that can't be altered. They're not putting boards together with nails and screws that can work their way loose, especially when you move it. So, um, not thinking would be your best choice, but yeah, if you're not going to go too far. Yeah, I know, Eric. I'm just, but like I said, have you checked? Probably not. Um, get some price quotes on what it would take to move a wooden building that size. Call some companies and then guesstimate how much it's going to go up in 10 years when you decide to move it, and see what that looks like. I am not saying it's going to be bad. I don't know. I've never done that, but maybe you look into that. Before you actually sign a contract to build a wood building, find out what they charge to move a wood building. Okay, and how much cheaper it would be to move a aluminum structure building, like a carport that's designed to be moved. Just spitballing an idea here. You're early in the process. It wouldn't hurt to do a little research. Um, I know there's so right where I live here, guys. There are it's a big racing pigeon area. Okay, there's people all around here. They have these pigeon coops. They what do they call them? They call them lofts, I think. And they're pretty big. They're long, and uh, this girl I know, she's trying to sell one, and it costs more to move it than to buy it. Okay, and it's wood, and it's got windows in it, and it looks kind of like a house, with a roof on it, and windows, and they try to make it look like a home, kind of, but it's narrow, and it's a fortune to move the damn thing. So she can't sell it because nobody wants to pay to move it. So they want her to give it away so that they can afford to move it. And she's like, "No, I'm not giving it away. It's it's still worth something. It's not my problem that you can't afford to move it. And yeah, so it's it's very expensive to move this shit. So um, my buddy moved a triple wide mobile home. Okay, that was that was all wood. It was a very old triple wide mobile home. And it's all wood construction. And this is back, God, it's been 20 years. It cost him $12,000 to move it. Okay. And he, and when he showed it, the guy gave it to him. It was on a lot in a trailer park, but it was on 2 lots. So he was paying, and it was on a lake. It had a beautiful view. It was a beautiful home. It was, and so my buddy Tom tells me, go over and check it out. Here's the address. So I went over there and I checked it out, and he was right. It was beautiful. The view was beautiful. And then he told me what the lot rent was for 2 lots. And it was like I think it was $1,700 or $1,800 20 years ago. And I'm like, dude, you need to move this thing, move it today. I'm telling you, get it out of there. Nope, I'm going to sell it and make a ton of money on it. No, you're not. Yeah, I am. You watch, you wait and see. Year later, he moved it. So he paid that lot rent for a year on it was over $22,000. He paid in rent because he didn't move it when I told him to, and then he had to spend another $12,000 to have it moved to another mobile home park. But this one, he owns the land in this one. He still has to pay a very small fee to live inside this area, but he owns the land. So he can sell the land. He won't have to move the trailer again. He can sell the land with the trailer as a home, and then they'll have to pay a small, homeowners association fee. I don't know what, I think that covers the garbage pickup and stuff in the park or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's just, but yeah. So yeah, I know. Yeah, they make kits. I don't know if you guys follow a guy on YouTube. His name's Trent Palmer. He flies he used to fly a Kit Fox, full scale airplane. Little. Um, I don't think it's. Well, I know it's classified as experimental. I don't know if it's a ultralight or not. I don't think it is, but it's like right on the border. It could be. And he bought a kit house and built it. He bought a property up on the mountains. He's out in Utah somewhere or wherever the hell he is. I don't know. And he bought a kit house, and he didn't build it. Well, I think he had his hand in building it, but I think he had a contractor doing most of the work, and I think he was they did a lot of the stuff inside that they didn't want to pay someone else to do. So him and his wife did a lot of work, but it was a kit. They delivered it, and it took them a while to put it together. But it's cool. It's a cool house when he got it done. Yeah, Phil, pool tables too. If you don't ever buy a pool table, guys, just go online. Marketplace. There's always free pool tables. Yeah, because nobody wants to move them. My buddy bought a house and there was a pool table in there, and the guy was trying to sell him the pool table. An extra charge for the pool table. And my buddy just told, because he knew a guy wasn't going to move it. He says, "Nope, we don't want the pool table. You can take it." And the guy said, "No, you can keep it." He wasn't going to pay to move it, And Charlie knew that, so he was, he just played the game. He knew he was going to get a free pool table out of it, so he didn't care. But yeah, these pool tables are free all over the place. You're right. Organs, pianos, pool tables, jukeboxes, even sometimes. You know, it just depends. Jukeboxes are iffy because they're heavy and cumbersome, but they're usually on wheels and they're semi-portable. Not easily, but movable. But so a lot of stand-up pianos are usually on wheels again, but just big and cumbersome. Hard to move. Organs, same thing. Yeah, yeah. So people give that shit away. Just come get it. Just get it out of here. I don't want it anymore. So yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna have at least one pool table in here, maybe two. I'm thinking about having one upstairs in the living area and one out here in the shop. So while we're working on cars, in next to the area where we're like literally working on a car, we could have a pool table, so we can be out there shooting pool and work while somebody's wrenching on a car, and take turns. If this guy needs to help him, whatever, somebody else comes in and plays, and while we're hanging out. And there's going to be a bunch. It's going to be like a bar in here, guys. I'm going to have TVs all the way around up on the outside, out in the shop, so that we can watch television no matter where you are in the garage. You're going to be able to watch a television. I already have. I can't even begin to tell you how many TVs I already have. I just got two more. Not sure these two work though, but I've got at least. I have at least 9 televisions that are flat screens that are 43 inches or bigger. Okay? I have 2 or 3 more that are in the like 36-inch range. But I have 5 65-inch TVs. I have one 75-inch or 70. Is it 70? 70. I think it's 70. I have one 70. I have 3 65s. And then I have wait a minute, I think I have no, I have 4 65. I've got a 70 4 65s. A couple of wait a minute, no, I think I think I have 7 65s. Yeah. I got TVs coming out my ass. So, uh-oh. What fell? Oh, I know it fell. So yeah, they're all going to be hanging on the walls of the apartment upstairs, and on the back wall of the building, and on the far wall of the building. They're going to be TVs everywhere. The ones that I'm not actually. Yeah, free printed vases. I got plenty of those. Yeah, if you guys want a free vase. Yeah, so I'm just overwhelmed with televisions. So, yeah, I've got some small ones, like 24-inch, 30, 36-inch, all flat screens. I still have one working tube television, and it's a big monstrosity. I mean, the thing's got to weigh 100 pounds. I think it's it might be a 36-inch tube TV. It came with its own stand. It was a stand that the TV was built. The stand was built for this TV. It's got surround sound speakers in the stand that this TV sits on, and that's the only tube TV I have left, and it works. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I haven't decided what to do with that thing yet. But it's laying on the floor over in that area that I said where the third car will be parked. It's sitting on the floor right there. I was using the stand for a while for another television, but yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. It's too heavy to hang on the wall. It's just too big and cumbersome to hang on the wall, so it's got to sit on its stand or a stand. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. Probably nothing. honestly. Probably give it away. Um, yeah, it's basically that's what my vision is, Eric. It's going to be like a sports bar in here, but instead of tables and booths and a there probably will be a bar. You know, I that was my vision. There'll be a bar that you can, you know, with bar stools that you could sit at and sit at the bar while you're watching television, drink a soda or whatever, beer, whatever you're drinking. But yeah, but there's going to be just cars in here, you know, and then the airplane. And this is all out in the shop area. This is going to be totally different in here. This is all airplanes in here. Um, I bought two big toolboxes at Harbor Freight. They had a big sale on toolboxes, and they're part of my design went this. So I haven't decided exactly how big the work table is going to be in here, but I'm thinking possibly 8 foot wide and 12 foot long. I think is what I'm going to do. I can go a lot bigger than that, but because the room is 20 by 28. So an 8 by 12 table in the middle of the room is going to be lost. But you got to remember there's going to be airplanes in racks on every wall surrounding the table. So, but that'll give me plenty of room to move around the table without disturbing the airplanes. But that and the toolboxes I bought are two. I think they're 9 drawer, roller drawer, soft close steel toolboxes on wheels, and they're about this height, the height of this table. They're going to be under the build table, the 8 by 12 build table, and I'm going to store all the stuff that's laying out. You know, I've got landing gear and servos and receivers and, you know, bombs and rockets, foam that go on airplanes. That they're all laying on tables in here, and all that stuff's going to go in the drawers of these toolboxes. That's what I bought them for, is storage, and the boxes are going to be under the build table. So they were on sale for $2.99. They're giant boxes. They're pretty damn big. Well, I'd say they're about the same size as this table, my power table, which is I think it's 2 foot by 4 foot. So I've got two roller toolboxes that are 2 foot by 4 foot with a wood top. They actually have a wood top on them, just like this. And I think they're 9 drawer. And yeah, that's I bought them. They're supposed to be in this week. I should be getting, what's today's date? The 14th. Yeah, they told me the 16th. So I gotta go pick those up. So yeah, that's always been in the works. I was actually thinking I was going to make the table even bigger and put 4 boxes under the table, one on each end and one on each side, or even 2, maybe 4. I was thinking maybe even 6 toolboxes under the table when I was going to make the table bigger. And I've decided to make the table. I don't need a table that big, Christ. Yeah. So 8 foot wide and 12 feet long is plenty big enough. So I downsized that. But those boxes are going to be, I mean, the first thing I'm going to do is put those boxes together, put them in here. You'll never see them. Well, I might turn the camera and show them to you, but I want to get them in here and probably put the printers on the toolboxes and put everything that's on these tables in the toolboxes. And then 2 of these tables are fold-ups. And then that's a glass table, and there's another, where's the other glass table? That's out there. I have 2 patio glass, they were free. They were, on the side of the road, drive by, table sitting there that nobody wanted it on their patio anymore, maybe a little rusty, maybe a little broken, but functional. And I took them, so, and they've been build tables and junk tables and that in here that have all my crap on them. So all the crap's going in the drawers of the toolboxes. Clean all this up because I'm getting close to where I'm going to need this cleaned up so I can get this stuff moved out and start drywalling running my electrical and doing the drywall in here. So we're getting close to that. So, yeah, you can purchase. What did that guy? That guy build I think a Ferrari or something from Temu. Yeah. Yeah, you can build anything from Temu. You know, they make everything. I don't know what quality might be questionable, but it's still available. Yeah, you can get just about anything off Temu. Michael, sure, just for you. You want to see the table go up and down? Hang on a minute. I got a couple of cords here I got to move to cycle the table up. I have to unplug my. Let me unplug my trophy. Put that cord there, and then my charging cord for the phone. We'll set that there, and I think that's it. I think I can go up and down now. Okay, so here we go. By popular request, Michael wanted to see the table go up and down. So here we go. And there we are. Yeah, so there we go. That's funny. That's how I get in the drawers here to the desk now. Is I just put the table up, and then get on the drawers, and then I put the table back down. I just tried to bend one of my signs. I didn't realize that was going to happen. So there you go. There you go, Michael. Just for you, by popular request. Let me plug my sign, my trophy back in. It's got the old. I can't believe this brand new trophy has the old plug. The old phone plug on it instead of the new one. I don't know why they did that. It would seem to why would you put the new types? I think the Type C, isn't that what the new one is? I don't know why they wouldn't have put that on it, but anyway. Yeah, Michael, $92, dude. You got to get one. Just do it. I mean, it's the deal of the century. I can't believe I got this table for $92. This was a steal. When I first saw these things come out, when Rich Baker got one, they were $350 for this damn table. And that brand probably still is, but this was a Temu deal. I mean, I didn't buy it from Temu. I got it from Amazon, but Temu has these tables, and that's what drove this one down to this price. So I could get it from Amazon at $92 because Temu's got them even cheaper than that. So, and there can only be a couple of handful of companies making these tables. The one company makes them for everybody, and the controls are pretty much the same on every table, and so yeah. Yeah, it's cool, I don't think this thing's going through all the colors. Let's take a minute, and I'm going to show you if I can. Let me. I think I have to actually turn it off and then back on. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lightest color, and we're going to work our way through all the colors. So this is yellow. All right, well, wait a minute. I'll start with white, even though, because, all right, so this is white. Okay. Let me get caught up here. My live stream's a little laggy. Okay. All right, so that's white. Then we have yellow. Okay, and then we have a light orange. Probably, it's almost a salmon color. And then here's a darker orange. Okay, there's the darker orange. There's lighter orange, darker yet orange, and then red. Let me get caught up on my... Okay. All right, and then the next row, I think this is like an aqua blue. And then more of an aqua. That actually went the opposite way. It's more blue here. That's really blue. And then it went to aqua blue. And then we're like a green, darker green, more vivid green, really vivid green. You're probably not seeing the changes that much in the picture. I have a feeling you're not really getting the grasp of this. And then this is going to be like a pink. And then it's going to be a little darker pink. More of a starting to fade into more of a purple. And that's a brighter, a little deeper purple. And more deeper purple even yet. And then we're on the border of blue right there. And then back to white. So that's all the colors this thing does. And then I don't know what some of these. Okay, so this has got to be a brightness control here, I think. Yeah. So if I want it solid like this, I can control how bright it is. I don't know if you can. Is that working out? Can you see me changing it, dimming it, and then brightening it? Yeah, the award that keeps on giving. All right, so this is full bright, and then I don't know. I'm not sure what these buttons do. They might actually say something on them. Hang on a minute. Let me look at this. Yeah, flash, strobe, fade, and smooth. Okay. All right. So let's see what if I can make these do it. So this is supposed to be flash. Okay, so it's doing the color thing without fading. It's just clicking it. You know, boom, one to the next color. And I don't think it's going in. It's random. It's not doing it in order. I don't think. Okay, let's go to strobe. Well, that doesn't look any different than flash. Why is that a strobe? That's the same as flash. Yeah, I don't see any difference between flash and strobe. And then fade. I don't think there's going to be any difference between smooth and fade either. Oh, yeah, okay. I see the difference here. So fade doesn't go dark and change color and get light. It just morphs into the next color. Smooth actually goes dark and then comes back a different color. It's going to see now it went off, right? And then it comes back a different color. So I think I like fade better than smooth because it literally turns off and then comes back a different color. And the fade, it just morphs to another color. It doesn't literally go off. It just keeps changing color smoothly. I think they should have changed the names. This should be smooth. The other one should be fade. Anyway, all right. So that's all the different things it does. So it's a really cool trophy, guys. You know, I was gonna buy. You can get this stuff in so many things. I was at Hobby Lobby of all places, and they have this exact thing, and they're cheap. I mean, they're really cheap, like $5. And it's got pictures of it. You can get a picture of a P-51 Mustang or a car, a truck. They have all these different, already, engraved with a picture on it, and it comes with a stand with a light in it. And you can get practically anything already done. It's really cool. They're smaller than this, a little bit, but they're in numbers. You can get, just different numbers. So if you wanted to put like your phone number, you could just line up all the numbers and then turn them on and maybe get them synced where they'd all change colors together, or I don't know. But yeah, just it's a really cool trophy. I'm pretty stoked about getting this. I got to tell you guys, it's cool. So what the fuck is that? Where you been, Bill? Is there another? Are you? Wait a minute. What? Are you in a? Are you in Are you in a Zoom with Spencer right now? You sent your cat mouse hunting. That's cool. A motorcycle lift. I have one. Did you get a motorcycle lift? Mine's a mechanical motorcycle lift. It's not like the big hydraulic, it's a pump up, but it's a motorcycle lift, but you pump it up. I've honestly never had my motorcycle on it. I'm fixing to put the Pacific Coast on it to change the. I got to change the shaft drive U joint. But all right. What else do we got to talk about tonight? I think I showed you guys this, but I got this for $5. I've seen them. People think these stuff is gold, but I think I bought this on Amazon, and this is the Matchbox Holden Commodore in the ignition orange, which is the color I like. And of course, the body is identical to the G8. It's the same body. The grill's different. The taillights are different. Other than that, it's the same car. And um, they don't make a Pontiac version of it. Matchbox doesn't. But I believe I did find some die-cast Pontiacs. I think, if I remember, I'm going to look again right now. I think I did find. Yeah, Timu, 1/32 scale. I think that's a Pontiac. Let me look. God, I hate going to Timu because when you go there, they always want you to spin the wheel and all this horse shit. And I'm not. I don't want to spin the wheel. I just want to look at what I came here to look at. You know. Now that's a Commodore. That's not a. That's not the Pontiac. Hang on. Let's go back. Yeah. And now placard comes up, free shipping. Yeah. Listen. I'm not buying. It's not going to work. Okay. I didn't come here to play. I came to look at something, and you're going to give me all this horse shit. So I just closed the window. Okay, so let me see if any of these are Pontiacs. Here's a Holden Commodore, not a Pontiac. Oh, here's one. Oh, it's 3D printed. Okay, well, I already did that. I printed this. So, yeah, this is the same print, but smaller. I blew mine way up. It was, the print itself was pretty small. Um, and I blew it way up. As big as I could get it on my machine. So my print's pretty big. Um, but yeah, is there a die cast? What is this? That looks like a die cast. No, it's a resin print though. God, that looks like that came out pretty good. Wow, that is pretty good. Yeah, somebody did a resin print of it. Um, it's not a Pontiac though. It's got the Pontiac hood on it, but it's not a Pontiac. It's a Commodore. All right, let's go back. $145 for a resin printed one. Jesus. Diecast 32nd. But that I don't need. That's not even a four-door car. I don't know what that thing is. Yeah, I don't think anybody makes a diecast of the Pontiac. It's always the Holden, the Commodore. Here's a Kia something. It's in this. It's the right colored blue. It could be might be a Stinger. It doesn't say that though. Probably don't want to get a copyright infringement. But I think it's a Stinger. Um, yeah, there's just no one makes a diecast of the Pontiac version. Not that I've been able to find. What's this? Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this? No, I think this is 3D printed also. Yeah, it's 3D. Wow, they did a really nice job on that one. Holy crap. Basically, they took the one I printed, cut the windows out of it, put glass windows in it. No, plastic probably. Same thing with the headlights. Put an interior in it. The whole 9 yards. Which I've already printed. The Cadillac with the interior. Boy, that came out terrible. That was horrible. Um, Yeah, there's no. Okay, wait a minute. That's a 1/64th, which is Hot Wheels size. God, how much do they want for this thing? That's nice looking. Wow. Oh, they even have it in my blue. Oh, no way. Holy crap. How much do they want for this thing? Oh, it's got black wheels on it, though. Ugh. Hate black wheels. Come on, bring me a blue one again with chrome wheels. No? Shit. Um, Reckless Innovations. Interesting. All right, it's on Instagram is where I found this picture or these. They look like kits that you buy and build, and they come a little plastic box, clear plastic box you put in, I guess. Um, Reckless Innovations booth. I don't know. This is kind of weird. I really don't know what I'm looking at, and it's going to take way too long to investigate this, but that was pretty cool. I was really hoping for something bigger, but I'd probably get it if because it is a Pontiac. So, interesting. Very interesting. I did not see that coming. Uh-oh. What happened here? Okay. Oh, stop it. Um, let's just say lucid. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. This looks like a full size car dealer or something. I don't know why that came up. Yeah, not much going on there either. God, it's so hard to find anything on this car. They just didn't make enough of them. Yeah, that's another Holden. You can find Holdens, Commodores. You just can't find a Pontiac G8. That's the 3D printed. Yeah, I think. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to this chat. I don't see anything. Yeah, it's just very hard to find anything G8 wise. All right, Wiggs. See you later, man. Have a good night. Oops, that's not what I want. Um, yeah, actually, we delivered drywall to a. I backed up a little bit. You guys were talking about shipping container houses. Yeah, we delivered drywall when I was working for that drywall company to a shipping container house. They had these were uh, 80-foot. No, they were 40 or 45-foot containers, and there were two wide, two deep, two high. All right, and then a big space in the middle because that was the garage. So we're talking 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 to the second level, and then they had them cross over. I think they had them turned this way, so the width was like probably the garage might have been the doorway of the garage was probably like 20 or 30 feet, and then they had the shipping containers turned across and lined up to make the crossover, and then those were balcony porches on the outside of the middle section that became the main house, and it was going to be very compartmental. It was, there wasn't big open rooms. There's a lot of little rooms, a lot of rooms. The part in the middle, I think, was all opened up. They cut the walls out of the shipping containers. They welded them all together. I think there were four of them bridging the maybe more. But it was it was going to be really cool. But he was making the whole house out of shipping containers, and he said permitting was a nightmare. He couldn't get anybody to agree at first to agree to do it. And he put this thing on a river. It's God, if and it's right on the ground, so I can't imagine if that river backs up and floods the shipping container, the bottom containers are gonna rot. So I don't know if that was a good idea or not. I can't remember if he had it up on blocks or not. He might have had a block to get it off ground level in case of a flood. I don't remember. But the garage was ground level, so and it was all dirt. I don't know if he's going to pour a pad in there later, probably. But it was cool. I mean, it was going to be a cool house. Um, so did your cat come back with a mouse yet? Hello, Raymond. Long Island. So I don't recognize your new name here. What were you called before Google or whoever changed your handle to 33241? Obviously you were here before. You got a blue wrench, so um, yeah, I don't recognize the new name. Don't don't feel bad. A lot of people's names changed in here. It's just going. It's ongoing. It's just one of those things we have to deal with. All right, EQ. We'll see you. Have a good night, buddy. So let's see what else. Now that the car show's over, because I was really concentrating on the shows, getting the car ready and everything. So now, tomorrow, I'm gonna concentrate on getting the manifold off the Daytona so I can get the O2 sensor out of it because I want to get that car drivable again. So I'm going to try to get the exhaust manifold off so I can get the O2 sensor out of it. Oh, the Cessna. Yes, I still have it. Yes, I know who I'm talking to now. Yep. Yeah, you plugged it in backwards and burned everything up and sold me the plane. Yep, got it. Yep, still have it. It's yeah. Now I remember who you are. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my plan for tomorrow. I have to go meet somebody too. I told you got the condo I emptied out, so haven't touched any of that yet. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I decided too much going on this weekend to do that. I'm going to put it on Marketplace, and I'm going to have a yard sale next Sunday, and get it organized somewhat. That's why I want to get the car off the lift because I want to bring some of the stuff into the garage here to organize it. So on Sunday morning, I can just take these tables outside, put stuff on the tables. The furniture, I'm just going to get off out of the camper and set it up. All the picture frames are going to lay against the fence. I'm just going to get everything out on the yard, have a big yard sale, and see how much of the stuff I can sell to get rid of it. But I think I was gonna do it tomorrow, but I just can't do it tomorrow. I got too much going on and no time to prep. So I'm not even sure I can do it next Sunday. First things first. I gotta get the Daytona off the lift. That's got to happen. I already made room for the bike, so that's good. I've got two cars, one under the lift, one on the lift. That's good. Now I got to be able to get in and out of the garage. Um, because I'm going to um, probably going to put the Daytona on the lift. Well, I want to get the lift moved. All right, so I'm hoping I can get the lift moved over where it belongs, and that'll leave the front of the garage completely open, and I can bring a bunch of stuff out of the truck and put it in the floor of the garage, move it around, whatever, go through it, pick out what I'm going to sell, what I'm not going to sell, and kind of get organized so that Sunday, day of the sale, we can just quickly set up and let people come buy this stuff. And where'd I get the Mach 5? Well, I have two. Um, there's a big one up here that you can't see right now because I need to re-angle the camera. Um, you know what? Hang on one second. Let me try something here. Since we're doing this, I don't know if maybe I can move this so we can see the Mach 5. No, you can't. Okay. All right. I got to move the camera. All right. So let me do that. Hang on one second. Let me make it a camera adjustment here. Got to move my signs before I destroy them. Okay. So let me tilt this up just a squeak. No, but you still can't see them. Almost. That's good. Okay. All right. So now I can okay, so that right there is a Mach 5. That's a 1/24th scale, I think. Mach 5. Radio controlled. You can get it online. I think it might be a Tyco, maybe a Jada. I can't remember who made that one. This one is I think a what is this? 1/32nd scale, I think. Horizon Hobby sells this. It's radio controlled. It's a pretty lame radio. I don't remember where I put the radio. Oh, I think it might be right here. Yeah. So little teeny wheel radio. I haven't driven it yet. You put it takes 2 AA batteries that go right in the bottom of it here. Try to show you that. There's just this little strap that goes across the bottom. Okay, and you put the 2 batteries right there lengthwise, and then you put this in to hold them in. And it just clicks in, and yeah, so it was 50 bucks, something right around $50, and I had some money to spend in my account, and I was going to use it if I didn't spend it. So I needed to spend it. So I went ahead and bought this. I bought a fuselage for an airplane, and to get free shipping, because I didn't want to pay the shipping, I added this to the cart because I'm a Mach 5 fan. All right, there's got to be a trick the way this goes in that I'm missing. Okay, wait a minute, because it goes this way. Okay, there it is. Yeah, now it's in. Yeah, so of course the blue is wrong. That was a shadow on the car because of the way it, the side folds, and they actually thought the car was 2 colors, so they painted the bottom blue, which is not supposed to be. It's all white. The lights work. It's got working headlights, I think, and tail lights. It's cute. So it was cheap enough, so I bought it. I thought it was cute. I might have to actually raise the table up a little bit here. Let me try to see if I can get this back in the picture. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So if I want to show something on the table, I can just raise the table up. There we go. And it came with these little cones. I guess you can make yourself a little race course and set these cones up. It's You get 6 cones. So and there's a little tool that's on the table here for adjusting the steering. You have to manually trim the steering. So it came with this little teeny plastic tool that works kind of like a screwdriver, and it locks into the steering, and you adjust your steering. And yeah, so for in the $50 range it was. I bought it. You know, it was cute. I didn't know they had that, so I saw it. I was like, okay, I got to buy that. So yeah, so I got 2 Mach 5s now. The one up there, and that next to it, this is the Losi Chevelle. The Losi, I think they call that I don't know if they call that 10th scale or not. I forget. But they're the same size. So so anyway, yeah, I thought those were cute. The little Mach 5. They had a whole bunch of cars that's this size, same price. And I was going through them, just looking at them, and then all of a sudden I saw the Mach 5, and I was like, okay, I gotta buy that. I didn't know that existed. Okay, I gotta buy that. I can't, there was a bunch of stuff in there, different cars, and and then when I hit the Mach 5, I was like, okay, sold. Just a big kid, guys. I'm sorry, I just can't help it. I'm can't get over being a kid. I still, Toys R Us, Anyway, so yeah, so that's pretty much up to date, guys. I'm gonna get back to airplanes very soon. I only have to do a couple clear coats upstairs, and I bought all the paint, so I have all the clear coat I need to finish the fuselage on the Carbon CT-28, the fuselage of the Husky, and the fuselage on the PBY, and the top of the wing of the PBY, and the tail section of the PBY. I did the wings, tips, top and bottom. I did the top side of the bottom side of the center section of the wing. I still have to do the top side and the tail section of the PBY, and I can put that together. I have to do the fuselage of the Carbon CT-28, and I can put that together. And I got to do fuselage of the Husky, and I can put that together. So that's all going to happen next week. We're going to get on those and get them finished, so I can go flying. And then I might go flying next weekend. Not the week after the sale weekend. Not the upcoming weekend. Well, maybe. I mean, if I do this, I might go flying on Saturday, and then do the yard sale on Sunday, or vice versa. Yeah. So. But we're going to get back on those. I want to get those planes done. I have to finish the Su-27 is all painted and assembled. I still have to do, I want to do a magnetic catch on the tail. It's got a tail piece about this long that sticks out past the engines. The two cans coming off the back, and I don't want that. I want the nose cone and that to come off, and then so I'm gonna put magnets in that so I can take it on and off. So we'll see about that. I must have bumped something here. That wasn't deliberate, or I'm just that far behind. Yeah, I think I'm just behind. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so that's that's coming up. We're gonna finish some airplanes. Get back on that. Just been working on cars lately. I am buying another car. Actually, I'm doing that tomorrow too. I forgot about that. Shit. I already made plans too. Oh God, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Okay. Yeah. It's a small purchase, $300. I'm buying a Honda Fit. It's perfectly drivable, no body damage. Paint. It was in a minor. So the mother says. Her son's lying to her. It must have been hit way harder than he said because they repainted the entire right side of the car, the whole back of the car, the roof, and the quarter panel of the left side. So the only thing it's original paint is the left front fender and the hood and the front bumper cover. And the reason I know that is because the front bumper cover, the hood, and the left front fender and the door are all shiny. And the whole rest of the car is chalk. It looks like chalk. So it's probably an Econo-Bake. They had that single stage base coat, clear coat paint job. And I think it needs to be polished to get it shiny again. So I'm hoping that that'll work. And all I have to do is polish it and not paint it. The AC doesn't work. Probably just needs charged. It's a Honda. Unlikely that the compressor failed. Or anything else for that matter. The radio is locked, but see, they told me the code is in the glove box. I'll find that out tomorrow. The blower motor only has one speed, high speed or off. So it needs a resistor or potentiometer, whatever that needs to make the fan speeds work. I don't know how Honda does it, so I'll have to look at that. And then it just needs cleaned up. It drives perfect. I've already driven the car. Drives perfect. No real issues with the mechanical end of it. It's going to be a nice car for somebody. So I'm paying her $300 for it, and then I'm going to fix it up. And then I'm going to take it to my church down here and see if somebody in the church needs a good, reliable car, cheap, and make a few bucks on it and help somebody out. So that's another project that I'm kind of committed to. Helping her out. She wanted to get rid of the car, and I told her, well, I want to be fair, so let me do some research. Well, I did some research, and Edmunds says the car, it's got 255,000 miles on it. It runs and drives perfect. And the training shifts, everything's fine, but on Marketplace, they're going for like $1,000 because of the mileage. Edmunds says trade-in value is $200. I think NEDA said trade-in value was $400. So I told her, I said, listen, and I told her that, I said, I can give you $300 for it. I think, that's that. I'm just going to go right in the middle of the two of them. It needs a lot of work. I might put a lot of money in it, depending on whether I'm anticipating, hopefully not, that I'm going to need to replace the compressor and a dryer. So I'm making allowances for that. That's $350 plus my labor. All right, so that'll bring my costs up to $650 for the car, just to have a car that drives and the air conditioning works. That doesn't fix the blower motor. Doesn't get the radio unlocked if it can be unlocked. We'll see. I got one more thing to talk about too. And then polishing the paint and vacuuming and cleaning. The seats need to be scrubbed. It's kind of a mess. So anyway, new purchase there. I'll keep you posted on that. Last thing before I go, the Pontiac, my Pontiac that I had at the show, the radio face was, I don't know what they did. It looks like they tried to clean it with a chemical, or they tried to was getting foggy, and they tried to use probably acetone on it to clear it up, and made it completely unreadable. You couldn't read through the screen in the daytime. At night you can barely read through it. So the screen was bad. And I was going to clean it up, and this is it. And I started sanding, or I was wet sanding the screen smooth, and I was going to go all the way up to 3000 grit and then polish this and get the screen back. Well, because it was so distorted, the clear coat that was on it felt like a rubbery coating. Came off, started peeling off. So I started peeling it all off, and it doesn't look good, but I know that if I lit this up now, I could read through it. I mean, I'd be able to read it. I still don't like what it looks like, but at least I could read it. And then I see this number on the back here. It says Sharp. It's a Sharp television, a Sharp screen, So I Googled it, and it was, son of a bitch, I can buy this damn screen brand new for $88. So I did. I bought one. That'll be in the mail in a week or two. It'll be a while. So I took the whole thing apart, got the screen out of it, and I got a new screen coming. So we're going to be able to fix, because I bought a replacement one, and you can't program it for the car. It's locked. And because I'd show you the face, but I might be able to show it to you. It's all apart. Okay. So this is the face of the radio in the Pontiac. Okay. And the air conditioning controls are at the bottom. And the radio controls are up here on the sides here. There's no number buttons. Okay. And there's no way to set the clock with hour and minute buttons. So I've been online for hours and hours trying to figure out how the new screen I bought, because I bought a new one of these, to take out of another car. And when I plugged it in my car, it says locked, because, the safety, so you don't stop people from stealing radios. And that's how they did it. So they locked the radio. Well, there's no way to unlock this one, because there's no hour-minute button. That's how you have to enter the 4-digit code. You have to get a 6-digit code out of this, okay? And then you have to call a number. It's an automated GM tech line. And you got to type in those numbers, the 6 numbers, and then they're going to give you a 4-number code back. And you have to put that 4-number code in the radio using the hour and minute buttons. Well, the way you set the hours and minutes on this particular radio is you have to push this button here. This knob pushes in. That's the speed control on the fan, I think. So you have to push that in to bring up a menu, and then you scroll down, you turn the knob to scroll down the menu to hours, clock, click on it, hours, minutes, day, date, and you scroll down. There's no way to get to that, because this button, while it's locked, doesn't do anything. So there's no way to unlock this. All right, so I got to contact the guy on eBay that I bought this from and let him know, hey, you can't put this in. You can't do it. Now, there is one trick that might work, and I don't know. I think it's called Omni something, and it's a little programming dongle. They say you buy this dongle, plug it into your OBD2 port, and that's all you got to do. You just turn the key on, don't start it, plug that in the port, and just wait until it turns green. And it's going to go out and do whatever it needs to do, download, reload, rewrite the code, whatever, to unlock the radio. And it's supposed to, it's $116 for this dongle. And you just plug it in, and it's supposed to unlock the radio automatically for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to make any phone calls. Now, I don't know if that works on this particular model radio or not. I don't know. But I just decided that I'm just going to put my radio that's good back in the car and just replace the screen. So I ordered a new screen. So that we're going to fix that. So everything else, I've got it. I've got the one I bought in the car, and of course I can't listen to the radio, but the air conditioning controls work and everything. So that all works. You just can't play the radio. So we're going to put a new screen in it, see if that fixes it. So that's one more thing on the Pontiac we're doing. That's other than the tire monitors. That's the last thing to fix to make the car damn near perfect. So, all right, so that's gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna call it. We're down to 5 people, and there's no chit chat going. So either you guys all fell asleep, or I'm boring you to tears because nobody's responding to anything I'm saying. At least not at my end. I'm not getting anything here, so I'm assuming that you're not talking to me. so and we're back up to 6 people in here. We were down to 4. We're back up to 6. So somebody's popped in. I don't know who. But anybody say something. Just you can just type one letter. Just let me know that I'm broadcasting and not talking to myself. That's all I need to know. Okay, Raymond's he's listening. Okay, thank you, sir. That's all I needed. Thanks. Perfect. Thank you very much. That was awesome. Drunk. I think they're all drunk. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there could be too. If we were playing a drinking game, maybe or something. I don't know. But anyway. All right, so that's update on everything going on, guys. Next week we'll update you again. We'll see what I get done this week, how much of what I plan to get done, which never works out, but I'll do the best I can to get some stuff done. I did get the Pontiac done enough to take it to the show and win this wonderful, beautiful trophy I got. So I was really pleased about that. I had put everything else on hold just so I could take the car to the show, and it was well worth it. To get that beautiful trophy was worth it. So the next major thing is to get the Daytona back on the road, get it off my lift, and then we can start doing everything else. Getting the stuff unloaded out of the camper, have my yard sale, buy that other car, paint the airplanes, all that other stuff is going to come. Move the lift, But first thing I got to get the Daytona off the lift before I can do any of it. So I'm going to concentrate on removing that manifold so I can get the O2 sensor out of the manifold and replace it with a new one and get that finished, back on the road, and then we'll move forward from there. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been a fun night. Didn't start out well, but we're going to end okay. So. You're still flying planes, Ray? What are you flying? What do you got? What's your latest greatest? Did you buy another Cessna to replace that one? It is a great airplane. I mean, I'm not real happy with HSD as far as parts availability and stuff. Man, they're really are terrible at that. But I mean, I like their products, but I definitely think they need to step up their parts repair capabilities, because they're living on the theory that if you crash it, just buy another one. That's not, at the prices they charge, that's not really an option. So yeah, I need to repair. I can't replace that 262 I crashed. I ain't replacing that. If I can't fix it, we're just going to call it quits. No one responds to me either. Okay. All right, guys. So you got another new Cessna. It's still in one piece. Yeah, thank goodness. Okay, good. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, I'm gonna have some new updates for you and make some progress. At least on some of these airplanes too. I hope to have something cleared and built to show you next week. So maybe we'll concentrate on one of them and get it built. Probably the Carbon Z, because I got to put a couple stickers on the fuselage, bury it and clear, and put it together. And that's a real easy build. So I'll probably do that one first. Get it done. Be hard to show it to you, but we'll get it in here. It'll have to be on a table or an airplane stand way back here. But we'll make that happen. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you later.